Just a moment. I don't need you. I don't need you, Siri. All right. You guys ready? I think we'll get this thing rolling here. I hope I left enough time. Okay, there's mine. Okay, here we go. Here's your surprise, you guys. Here's your surprise. I hope I don't mess it up. Say hi to my helper, my husband, Tom Cookman, and he's got something for you, okay?
Twinkle, twinkle, you're a star. Keep your brush near, not far. Splash some paint, you're doing great. Enjoy your project, do not wait. Twinkle, twinkle, you're a star. Keep your brush near, not far.
Can you dance?
I dance like a tree. On a side note, 40 years ago today is the first time I ever saw Levon and met her. It was love at first sight.
Oh,
40 years ago today.
Is that not the cutest
Have a great
thing
paint day.
ever? Okay, you guys don't need to see me. That was your treat. Okay. I'm going to put this back so we can get going. Did you love it? He's so awesome. He's going to be reading your comments, so make sure. Oh, I made him do that. I'm so funny. Okay. So, that was your treat, and here we go. We're on to the hummingbird. Somebody said, thanks for the show, Tom. All right. So this is not the hummingbird. I don't have my background on that one. I'm going to use that one to work with you guys, okay? But I'm going to share this with you. This is the one we're going to go by. Okay? So I think I shared with you guys the photos. I hope you guys can go look for it if you want to. The photos of some progress photos. What I want to show you on this is there's some salt that I used. Can you see the little salt crystals? And this one did what I wanted it to do. Can you see that one? And then you have to brush it off. Can you hear me okay, everybody? Let me know. Tennessee! So this is a loose and messy hummingbird. And remember what I told you guys, I feel like painting is an illusion. And if it looks like a hummingbird, Hong Kong, it is a hummingbird, okay? And enjoy the whole process, all right? So let's get started. I used opera pink, some yellows here, some greens, opera pink over here, as you can tell. I have purple in here, the blues. I wanted it to drip down to make it look like the paint is coming through the flowers that are behind are coming through. I tried to make this look like a little bit of a flower. And down here is a little bit less loose. Hi from India. Yours is frozen. Hang in there, Heather. It'll probably unfreeze. Hey, Tom, will you go? He's going to be scratching. All right. Let's get going here, you guys. The first thing I want you to do is paint the eye. Let me fix this a little better. Adjustment. So what we're going to do, get your paintbrush wet. Here's my jar, paintbrush wet. Get a small paintbrush. Find a blue paint. It's not really critical, find a blue paint. Oh shoot, I need my glasses. And find the shape. I'm going to try to get this close for you. I'm going to hold it. The shape of the eye here. There is a white in the eye when you drew this. Leave the white. Okay? I'm painting around the white. So for those of you who don't like to get wild and crazy, this is your thing. This is more tight painting. Okay, I'm going to use phthalo blue. It's a transparent blue. It's a staining blue. And then I'm just going to drop it in. Remember, you don't have to paint along. You can just watch, or you can paint along a little bit. So I'm following around the shape of the eye. Pay attention to the white. Okay, I want to tell you guys something. Painting takes patience, but it's still really fun. I want the white of the eye to go closer toward the beak. Alrighty? Do you guys have a purple or another blue or even a green? Rinse your brush. We're going to purple or blue or green. I'm going to use purple.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Kathy did it.
Can everybody hear me except for one? Check your volume. We're tapping it in. We're gonna make, this is the first layer of our eye, okay? We're gonna come back later. You have to take some time with layers in watercolor, adding more color. Okay, I'm rinsing my brush and I'm drying my brush. I wanna get a little bit more color, a little more pigment. I'm using purple again. I dried my brush. Good, 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 good. Tell me if I get too loud, I get kind of excited. Oh, what I wanted to tell you is...
Any substitute of phthalo blue?
Just any blue, you guys. Don't get too hung up on the color choices. Grab what you have. Okay, that's about the best I can do holding that at the same time. I've got to lower it. I gave you a close-up view of that, but my arm's gonna fall off. Okay, so now we don't want to disturb this eye too much, but I want you to go around it. Don't touch the eye that you've already painted. Whoops. We're getting clear water on our brush. Go around the eye where you've made your lines around the eye, the pencil lines. Don't get in the blue you've already painted. If you do, it's no big deal. In fact, I'm going to do it just to show you. Mine's already sort of dried, so it didn't matter. But if yours isn't dry, it'll seep into there and it's not a big deal. What we're doing right now, you see this color here? We're going to get that color, this browny pink color that rings the eye. See how it is on the bird and the picture? We're going to try to copy that. All we're doing is trying to copy to the best of our ability what we see in the photo. So I've got my dirty palette. See those colors in there? That's why I like to have it. I don't have to mix it. If you want to mix it, just go with like a red and a purple together or something like that. A warm color there. Now we've already got our paint on here. I mean our water, excuse me. We tap it. Can you see it okay, Tom?
Yes.
We tap it in there. And I think the shape of the eye, I look on my iPad too, you guys. If you have an iPad, they're great because you can zoom in. The shape of the eye looks like it's coming along, right? It's not dark enough. Hummingbirds have really black eyes. But I like it when it has a little color in it. Let's make it darker on the bottom. Excuse me, guys. Can you see that? Let me know if I'm moving around. Tom's my supervisor, so he can tell me immediately if I'm doing something that's annoying. Back to the dirty palette. The dirty palette, you guys. It's okay. It's good for certain uses. I like it. Back to the eye. We're just going to get the eye out of the way because people are scared to do eyes. And all they are is a shape. Everything you paint is just a shape. Try to simplify it. Don't say, I'm painting an eye. Oh my gosh, I'm going to mess it up. It is a shape. Say, I'm painting a circle. Now everybody can come close to a circle. You see how it's starting to get some depth to it? Can you see that? Coming along, right? Okay. Next, we're going to go to the beak. Don't touch this because you'll smear it. If you smear it, it's no big deal, but try to avoid it. Starting with water. Let's paint our beak with water. Can you see it okay, Tom? Yes. Okay. Congratulations on all of your dandelions. Oh, I see I made a mistake on my drawing. So I didn't put any water here. You can't erase if you put water on it. I want my beak to go a little bit in. So even though I paint really splashy and a little bit wild, I still like things to look like they're supposed to with the shape. Dirty K. McCurry. Okay. And make this, if you can see on the picture, you see how the black from the beak is also going almost to the eye? We're going to run that further down, even though you didn't draw it in there. We're looking at the picture, or I am. We're running it closer to the eye. Don't go all the way to the eye, just close to it. So we've got our water on the beak. Now wherever we put our paint, the water is going to flow. I mean, the paint's going to flow. Let's start with the purple beak. Okay, that's our first layer. Here is purple. If you don't have purple, use blue. Use a darker color. You could even use red if you like red. Same thing. We're going to tap, just little taps. It's going to follow the water. Can you see this? And you're going to go, oh, wow. Look at it. Look at it go. Stay along the edge. It's going to run to the middle, okay? Small little taps. So what's happening is the water is pulling the paint out of the brush. Remember I said, so I'd like you to kind of leave the section that's white in the middle if you can. If you haven't, it's okay. We're bringing it toward the eye, that whole beak. And now that we're by the eye, you still have a little purple. Take a little bit around the eye on the outside, just a bit at the top. Tiny little dots. Now take the purple, another layer. We're going to go inside the eye, the lower part of the eye. Try to leave some blue so that it shows some other color in the eye. It'll make it look really cool. You with me? Everybody good? Hi, Pamela. I'm sorry. Wowzers. Yay, Kay. We've got a comment going on. So we have a purple beak. We have a blue eye. And we've got the outside edge of the eye. You've almost got the hardest part done. Yay. Okay, so I want this beak. It looks super black. What color should we put on the beak next to that? What did I use here? Let's see. We didn't use black. Looks like I used blue next. All right, let's go to blue. Take your favorite blue, doesn't matter which, but stick with what you've started with. Don't go too far off of, like if you used a phthalo blue in the eye, try to stick with this so that we stay within the same colors we've used. It makes it more pleasing. I'm lifting it up again. This should still be wet. The same thing. If it's not, you'll just have to drag it a little bit. Mine's dried really fast. So on a beak, I'm going to have to drag it along. You might have to too. Depends on where you are. There's a line because it's two pieces, the beak. So try to leave a little bit of a line. This one is really, really tiny. Can you see it? It's super fine. And so we're just going to try to copy that. My arm's getting ready to fall off holding this up here. I'm going to get more water on my brush.
It takes a while to focus after you put the camera in and out. So.
Oh, it does? Okay. We're going to come back and layer this in again. So that line, I don't want that line to be all the way down. Make it touched in between. Okay? You don't want like this straight line for some reason. It doesn't seem right when you do it. And then when you get down in here, don't make it solid. Kind of mix it up so the purple shows. You want some colors showing around it. Again, come toward that eye. Smooth this out a little bit right there because that's the shape. I'm just looking at shapes on this hummingbird. While this is still wet, go back into purple. You know what I'm doing now, so I'm not going to hold it up. I'm just going to go in here and touch it. The beak is usually darker on the bottom. We'll straighten out those edges. I forgot to eat breakfast, you guys. Did you guys eat? Going on the bottom also. Touch it so this line is not one solid line. So we're building up color here. This is called patience, Amy. I'm going back with the blue. I'm going to cover up that bigger, the bigger white. We have a new song. We can call it My Corona. I just have clear water on my brush right now. I'm going to go over this line here. It's too thick. Okay, that's looking good. That muddy mix we had before, remember I told you it's super easy to make mud. Go back into the warm. Is it hard to focus again after I do this? Does it have an issue?
No, it takes a second.
Okay, but it's not bad. Okay. And take that and go around it. We're making our way toward the eye, so that they're kind of touching. This dirty mix, I want you to grab a little bit of some sort of red or pink to go into it. A warm color. I want to warm it up. So when someone says warm it up, you want to go to the colors that are red, yellow, orange, warm it up, and you'll see what happens. Just a little bit warmer in here. Okay. I can't talk the whole entire time because I have to focus also, but I'll do my best to keep it running. Did I ever finish talking about the adolescent? Did I tell you guys about the adolescent paint? Did I, Tom?
What's that?
Talking about how a painting goes through an adolescent stage?
I don't remember that.
Okay, so what I wanted to tell you is a painting goes through an adolescent stage, I'm calling it, where it's like, ooh, that's awkward. It's looking a little bit ugly. So just be patient with it. Don't give up on it, just like you wouldn't give up on your teenager. They'll get through it, and as long as you are patient with them, with your painting, it'll be true for that as well. Back to the beak. I'm tapping in some more purple. The under beak is going to be darker on ours. Here's where I touched and joined the line, so I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to go and grab a little bit of a red color, pink, red, whichever you like. And I'm just going to put a little surprise of red on it. That's the top part of the beak, so it can be a little bit different color. Yeah? Don't make it solid, just sort of tap it around. Okay, let's leave that area alone for now. Oh wait, I think I need to bring that red in a little bit down in here too. All right, change brushes. This is the small brush. Change into a little bigger brush if you have it. If you don't, stick with the small one. It'll be fine. Here we go. I think I'll move up to this size. It doesn't really matter what size. we're moving over here. It's time to observe. So get ready to observe. How to paint filled in like that. I would watch. I can't see that whole comment. Maybe read it to me. I want you to observe these little areas here. We're going to paint with water, with water only. We're going to paint this section here, okay? And we're also going to creep in over here, okay?
Maybe they don't go out of the ugly adolescent stage.
They're going to.
Live in your basement and play video games.
So see this little triangle shape? This is not a wing. This is a little triangle shape with little tiny dots, okay?
For so many years, I was mystified about how to paint filled in like that.
Oh.
I watched watercolor videos with no audio, and I never understood it.
Well, now you understand. We're going to find these shapes here. This is the triangle shape we're going to right here, okay? This is not a one session project, okay? So be patient. All of you who feel impatient, be patient. Set it aside. Work on it if you want to, using the same techniques that I've already showed you, but be patient, okay? I'm tapping it. I'm going to leave a space between here, the white, because that line, I'm following the lines we already drew, okay? And we're tapping. I may have a little bit bigger brush than what I need to. Okay, so there's the, also since we have green, you know what, I'm going to leave this right here. I'm going to cover my beak and I'm going to leave it right here. Okay, we have green, this whole area is green, and that's what I'm kind of copying. So it looks sort of like a, let's think of the shape. This is a little triangle, and this is just a rectangle, a little bulging rectangle. Okay, so let's do that too. We'll just go for it. When you do a bird, the more you can let the colors run together and change, the better, especially on a hummingbird. Here we go. So you see the shape I did? A little bit of a triangle, a little bit of a rectangle. We're going to yellow now. Yellow is going to be the undercolor for our green. This is a Hansa yellow, could be Azo yellow. It's my cool green.
Smear your beak.
Should be fine. Did someone say don't smear it? No. Oh. Remember what we do? Tap it and leave sections with white. It's going to bleed into it, but it'll be lighter. Okay. I also painted up here. See there's a little bit of green up there too? We're going to paint up there too. Tap it in there. Now, one thing I should tell you, when I say tap it in there, I don't want you doing it like polka dots. I don't want you to go tap, 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 like that. Blend them a little bit. Let them connect, okay? So you see how I tap it? You can't see little dots everywhere? One thing I noticed on some of yours, that you had, you know, sections like that. So that might be what it looks like I'm doing, but I want them to blend. I just want them to blend in a little bit of a non-uniform manner. Where it's darker back here, I'm going to put heavier yellow and closer, because there's going to be more of a shadow there. You guys excited? This white area is nice to keep. We're going over here, bring it down. I'm going to get a little more paint. So I've taken my brush, and then I dry it off on my towel. And then I get the paint. Because I already have water on the bird, I don't need as much water in my brush. I need more pigment, because the pigment will flow out of the brush into the water. If I have too much water, it's not going to do that. In fact, I should show you that so you can understand. If you look down here, these are a little more segmented, and we can try to follow that. Basically, paint the direction of what you're looking at. If the feathers are going to the side, paint to the side. Okay? Rinsing off my brush, still with the larger brush, go into, let's see, what do we want to do? You guys have green? Let's go into a green. That's too much water. Get the water out of your brush. Here's a trick. Oh, I need a Kleenex. Grab a Kleenex and squeeze the water out of the end here of the brush, right near the metal part, okay? Go back. Let's tap along the bottom of the feathers so that there's the edge. That's the edge part of the feathers on this part of it. Tap along the top. This is just a first layer, you guys. You're going to have more than one. I have phthalo blue. I'm going to use that too because yellow and blue make green. Just follow along with the shape of the feathers.
And when you watch it on your own, it's no different from watching it live because the comments from people scroll by the same way.
They do.
That's what Monica said.
Darker back here. I'm using the phthalo blue, but you can see how it looks green. We're just following along. Can you see the color? We're just following along. The shape that we're going with, if it's darker along the wing here, make it darker. Darker along the neck, make it darker. Tapping up in here. You guys can probably hear my stomach growling. I can't believe I didn't eat. Oh my goodness. How did you guys feel? You don't have to comment. I just want you to think about it. How did you feel when you told yourself that you loved yourself yesterday? I also want you guys to change your mind about what you can do in painting. This shadow goes further down here between the wing and the body. Just enjoy what that paint's doing, you guys. Look at it bleeding and mixing on its own. It's doing the work for you. Oh, pretzels. My husband brought me breakfast. Oh, I better not eat it. I'm sure you can hear me crunching. Thank you, honey. I'm gonna drag some of this paint up here. I'm not gonna eat another one of those. Okay, you guys, let me get some darker. I'm changing to my smaller brush. I'm gonna get some darker blue. We're tapping right here. Even though in the painting it's a dark, like brown color, we don't have to have that. Okay, look, see there's a little bit of segments. You don't have to have them perfect, but it's nice to have a little bit of lighter color in between. Now, as long as you have this blue on your brush, see the blue down here? This is more, I splashed with water afterwards, but I basically painted in a realistic manner down here without the water that I usually put on it. So you see this? This is where we're gonna go. This is the segment here and here that I'm gonna put, wait. Well, I'll have to look. I have to observe this a little bit closer. That's my little dog. He wants to be held. Follow the shape. If you have the cobalt teal, that really turquoisey color that I use, grab it next. If you don't, just rinse your brush out. and make it a lighter teal. I mean, excuse me, a lighter phthalo. Here we are, we're gonna go right next to that. Leave a little bit of a line in between. Following the shape. I'm sure you guys are doing great. I can't see you, but I'm sure you're doing great. Okay, now while this is still wet, take off as much water as you can off of your brush, go back into the dark blue, get it dark and thick. Like there's consistencies of paint that are tea, you could call it, coffee, cream, or I mean, water or milk, cream, butter. So we're gonna go into a really heavy consistency here, and we're gonna paint a dark line to separate those two. One side is light and one side is dark. It's where the light is catching it. It's really the same color of a feather, but it's where the light's catching at the top. Go back into your brush, water only. I want you to tap the edge of this so that this isn't a really like hard edge. Tap it sideways, because that's the way the feathers go. How are you guys doing? I see comments. If you scoot the painting up, thank you. That's a nice comment, sorry. Tom, why aren't you helping me with this? So basically what I'm trying to do, you guys, is copy some of the shape here. Can you see that? The shape that's going up?
Scoot it up a little bit and you can see the tail better.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that. I don't want those lines to be as uniform as that, what I've made them, because that isn't what happens in nature. So let's get rid of some. All right. Let's go to the dark side. Right over here. This is really dark here. We're going to use a super dark blue. Let's try to kind of match this beak, okay? Using the same colors. What did we start with up there? Did we start with purple? I want to start with blue down here though. Back to a dark blue. The consistency will be like butter. I'm using a small brush. I'm finding where this stops. It stops all the way up here. You see this tail feather, this triangular shape? I'm going to follow that. In fact, I probably need to dry that in for me to see it. I'm going to go all the way to this point right here, okay? You can correct your drawing as you go. Painting is a lot of observing, lots of observation. Once you do that, it's easier. Once you learn how to do that. So I'm observing right here, that shape looks like a long straw shape. So let's follow that shape. Straight paint, I didn't put any water down first. This is phthalo blue, see how dark you can make it? You can go right up next to that. It should be dry enough because we didn't put a lot of water down. You can use the side of your brush, the tip of your brush. You can leave a little bit of white in between, but don't leave a full line. Like I said before, make it touch a couple places. Like I'm gonna make it touch right there. I'm getting off water. I'm sorry, I'm rinsing off my brush. I'm gonna get a lighter, maybe like a milk, I'm going to add this feather that we stopped with. I'm going to get it right up into the same place right there. Following the shape of what I see. See, it went further up. I also see a dark shadow. Can you see right there? It's darker because this is over it. So I'm going to make that dark right there.
One moment. I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Siri doesn't have an answer, you guys. Okay, another tip for you guys. If you take a photograph of what your progress is, it condenses it and it makes it look really cool. So I want you guys to do that once in a while. Let's finish the tail feather. Going into the dark again, the dark blue. We're moving over here. I'm following that shape. This looks like a long triangle. Do you see that? Long triangle. So let's follow that shape, the drawing that we did. Super thick paint. About the consistency of it, heavy cream to butter. This is a serious day, right, you guys? It's a little bit serious when you're doing stuff like this, but it should still be fun. Ooh, isn't it pretty? Woohoo! We've got some pretty tail feathers, pretty tail feathers, pretty tail feathers. Yeah, well, let's not sing, right? Ooh, doesn't that look good? Okay, that looks better than the other one I did. I did this last night in a hurry, but same idea, okay? Same idea. I'm doing it a little more carefully with you guys. Okay, so what? We went dark, lighter blue, lightest blue, dark. So we're gonna go lighter blue again. So we're studying it again. Let's go into the lighter paint, still using phthalo blue, lighter paint. We're going to find that next section. Isn't that cool? This is basically the same paint except for here where I used the cobalt teal. I took some paint out of the brush because I want it to be lighter still. Moving up. Paying attention to my reference photo. I'm looking back and forth constantly. All the way up. Leave some space in between. Rinse your brush, back to the heavy color paint. If you can't follow along with me, you guys, you can just watch it, and then when you go to paint it yourself, you'll have a head start. We're with the butter cream consistency.
Something about your shadows on it.
That, should that be down? That? Thanks, you guys. Whoops, too much water. Whoopsie. It's okay, we can make it darker. We just have to go back and get more paint, which I'll do right now. I'll move this to this side. That's probably what's doing it. This comes down and around, the dark comes down and around this. Ta-da! You did a feather, a tail feather, and now I get it messed up a little bit. Dropping in the water. This is the scary part for a lot of people, but you know what? It makes it look really cool. That was my dog, you guys. Okay, so splatter it if you want, if you like that effect. If you don't, leave it alone. I like it. I like it. I think you guys probably did a good job. What do you think? What do you think? All right, let's look at our bird. Where should we go next? We just have the first layer of this. We're letting it dry a little more. If you want to make sure it's dry, you touch the back of it with your hand. If it's cooler than the rest of your painting, it's not dry, and it is cooler still, so we're not going to do anything with that. Let's go up to the head. Same thing now, we're going to put water on here, clear water. Am I too high? Clear water at the top. Don't touch the eye, stay away from the eye. Although it's not the end of the world if you do. I say that and then I say, but it's not the end of the world. I didn't use my clear water, as you can see. Let's go all the way around the head. Leave a little bit of a white space between the beak. This is the blue part of the head that we're going to do, the blue part of the head. This is where we're going to drop in a lighter blue, but still the phthalo blue, or whichever blue you have. Up here, we're going to start with yellow. Well, here we're going to go blue. Everybody's focused. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear the focus. Starting with the yellow. I'm going to teach you guys how to make black in just a minute. Bring it down a little bit closer. Rinsing off the brush. Let's go into our blue. We're going to stick with a milky to coffee consistency and just tap it in. I want to leave that in between color, the light color that's in between, so don't make it uniform. If you have a green, let's grab some green. Tap it within the blue. And while we have the green, this is dry enough. Let's take it down into the back. Leave some space in between. It's looking so pretty. I love these colors. Okay, rinsing my brush, going up to the top. Let's go with the phthalo blue, a light, watery. Go to the top of the head. We don't have to copy this exactly either. You could be using pinks, you could be using purples, you could be using whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. Go in and get some darker blue again. Take the water out of your brush by squeezing at the end. The very, very top of the head, see how dark it is? Let's go up there and just go to the edge. Don't draw a line, a straight line, have some space in between. Come down the back. Here's what I'm looking at right here, you guys. I'm just observing whatever value is here, if it's darker or lighter, okay? Don't be shy with questions. Of course, they can't paint and ask questions. For those of you who are just watching, you can ask questions. For those of you who are painting, it would probably be difficult. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's the Clumber Spaniel. So we still have a lot of dark paint on our brush. So we're blue here. Let's go in here and make a few different color changes. Woo, look at that. It's still wet. So it's going to suck it around. Up here on the top, it looks a little too dotty. So let's smooth it out for me. I don't know what yours looks like, but mine's a little too dotty. I don't want a polka dotted head. Bring it up toward the beak so they kind of join.
Your hair keeps coming in and out of
Oh, I'm sorry.
the front. The bangs.
My head? Top head?
Bangs.
Oh, my bangs? Okay. Sorry, you
Look
guys.
at the picture right now.
I can't. Oh, mine doesn't. Mine is live.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That looks cool, but it's a little too dotty as well. So let's put a little more next to it, one next to it. Back to this blue. You see how few colors we're actually using and how much we can make it just look so pretty? I barely used any red in the beak.
Says I was late to the class. I'm not going to connect the frog. Do you know if Lavon talked about hot and cold press papers?
Nope, I'm going to. In fact, I'll do that in just a minute. Is she still on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on one second. That's my plan. Okay, so look at this weirdness around the eye. It looks like this big white ring around the eye. Go back to your... No, first, let's just use clear water and let's smear that around the eye. If yours looks like mine, you're going to smear it a bit. Soften those edges with just the wet on the brush. Bring it closer to the eye. That looks better. And let's just do a little more green and give it a couple little taps in there. The puppy's snoring away. Snoring away. All right. I'm going to give you guys a little lesson, separate lesson. Set aside the hummingbird for a second. Talk about hot press and cold press and how to make black. Can you see both of these? This is cold press. This is hot press, and I prefer to work on hot press. If you can see, there's the texture of the cold press. These are both arches paper. There's a smoothness to the hot press. I'm going to draw a circle and a circle. Okay, get my brush. Since we used blue a lot today, I'm going to use blue again. Bigger brush. Using the flat side of my brush, I'm just getting it wet. You'll just see the difference of what they do. Same thing here, flat side of my brush, getting the paper wet, just part way down. I'll get my blue paint, do what we've done all along, tap it in. I'm going to let the paint drip. Suck on down in there. Get some more paint, go onto the hot press. The reason I like hot press, and a lot of people don't, is because the colors to me are more vibrant. It's really important if you want to get if you want to do portraits, which I do quite a few portraits, and you want to have smoothness, hot press will allow that. It doesn't pull down as far. Cold press is easier to work with for beginners, so that's a good thing. Both of these will scrub well when you need to lift paint. I'm going to paint at the bottom again with water. Making it flat. Not just using the tip of my brush, using the flat edge of my brush. I'm going to paint down there with red. Tapping the water. I don't know if you can see much difference in the two, but this one is a much slicker surface. Rinsing the brush. Guess what color I'm going to put in the middle? We're using the 3 primaries. Painting again in the middle. Most people actually prefer, oh, that's my hair. Most people actually prefer the cold press, and that's why I suggested it. Hello, there. Let me find my other yellow here. We're gonna let these colors dance together. See how the cold press pulls it around more, and if you can see, it becomes a little more interesting there. So we've got hot press on the left, cold press on the right. This is sort of a little bit of a color mixing for you. We're going to get orange at the bottom, or excuse me, orange in the center. Between those, this is primary, 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 secondary, secondary. And there'll be some purple along the edge also. So there you have it. That's the 2 differences between cold press and hot press. Cold press has more texture feeling to it. Hot press is just a lot smoother. Okay, that's a little lesson. We're going to show you how to mix black now. Three primary colors. Again, the most important thing you can have. I put these out on the palette first. I also want to show you, we've got...
Did you give us a copy of the photo reference?
I don't know if I did or didn't. But you want me to get it to you guys? I'll get it to you guys so you can use it, okay? All right. So to make black, you just want to use all the colors, so you want to use the opposite. Usually you say blue, and whatever's opposite of these would be orange, right? So because yellow and red are orange, so opposite of here would be orange. But a lot of people really like to use burnt sienna. It's an orangish color, but because there's some pigment in it that makes it make a black, people really like to use it. So here's burnt sienna. So burnt sienna would be over on this side. If I mix these, if I mix yellow over here and red up here, we're going to get orange.
$10.58.
Oh my goodness, you guys. That went by so fast for me. I got to mix you up some black really fast. Let's go back to this. Here's our piece of paper. I'm going to mix black and we're going to call it good, you guys. Sorry for that, but I feel like this is really an important part of painting, is learning how to mix black, a good black. Here we go. I really like fresh paint. Can you see how that's become black almost immediately? Does that not look like black? But what's cool about using colors to mix it, you'll be able to see the other colors within it. So that was ultramarine blue. So write it down, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. That makes this super black. And as you spread it out, you start seeing other colors come about. Super cool. All right, now if we were to use yellow, the opposite on the color wheel would be blue and red. So it's really all three colors, but for some reason it does some different things to it. So if I mix blue and I mix red, you see the purple? A little more blue, more purple. Okay, so let's try yellow and purple. We're gonna use a pre-mixed purple. This is called Imperial Purple. I want you guys, for your homework, I want you to do this. I want you to make your own black. Find all the mixtures of the colors and see which is your favorite black, okay? So now we're gonna mix yellow in it. It's not gonna be as dark as the other. It's gonna be more of a green. I'm gonna get more purple because obviously the darker of the two will make it the darker. It becomes a little more brown, but it's still a good purple to know. I mean, excuse me, a good black to know. You see that one? It will read, your eye will read it as black, even though it's got more purple in it. When you paint it against something else, it will read it as black. Okay, our next mix, we did the blue with the orange, we did the yellow and purple together. Let's do the red and the green, because if we mix green and blue, sorry, I'm saying all the wrong things. If we mix that with yellow, we obviously get green, correct? I'm gonna use a pre-mixed green. This is called phthalo green. I'll put it right next to it. So again, your homework, make some blacks. You will be so happy when you know how to make black. Take the green and we're gonna move it over toward the red. And you'll find some of your favorites. See how dark that gets? So I found that the purple and the yellow is a warmer black when I've used it. And there you go, there's another black. So you can see why, based on what this is showing, that people prefer to use this ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. That makes a really cool black. So I hope that helps you guys. Let's go back to our hummingbird. I will send you the link, or in fact, there's a website called Pixabay, and this is what I've been looking at today. My iPad. If you don't have an iPad, use your iPhone and get in close to the things you need to see for the details, and that's what I've been using, okay? So it's called Pixabay. Google this, Google Hummingbird, and try to find that one. Let me know if you don't find it, and I'll try to post it on our site. But it's Pixabay, it's free pictures for artists. This is what we've done today. So I hope that... How do you spell Pixabay? Pixabay. Please, you guys, post me your progress, what you've done. I hope you guys have liked this. Hummingbirds are fun to paint, super fun. I love them. And these are all the paints I've used today within the, These are the paints I used today, so if you can pause it. This is alizarin crimson, burnt sienna on the color wheel that I made for you guys. Hansa yellow, ultramarine blue. I did not use this, I was planning to, but I didn't. I used imperial purple and phthalo green. So I want you guys to do that. Go practice making your blacks, paint something fun with it. This is also an excellent exercise to mix with all the primary colors. Here is the hot press. Here is the cold press. You can't see a whole lot of difference. And let's see, is that all I had to tell you guys today? I think so. Oh, here's one more thing. This is a paint set you can buy on Amazon that has a lot of the colors you need. There's a burnt sienna, a sap green, you've got 2 greens, ultramarine blue, you've got 2 reds, you've got 2 yellows, and orange. So this is a wonderful set. It used to be $69, but I've noticed lately it's gone up. It's M gram. It's a professional grade. It doesn't matter what brand you get as long as you get professional grade. This is when you advance. Right now, just use what you have. Just use what you have. And I want to show you one more thing. Whoops, I don't know if this will fit. I'll show you this on a picture. So I'm going to sign off and I'm going to sing you guys a song one more time. Twinkle, twinkle, you're a star. Keep your brush near, not far. Splash some paint, you're doing great. Enjoy your project, do not wait. Twinkle, twinkle, you're a star. Keep your brush near, not far. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining me. I hope you had a great time. I do not know when the next session is. We'll try to really focus on the hummingbird next time again, but I had to put those other things into it. I really want to teach you guys some other things as well. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go eat breakfast. You guys have a great day. Message me anything you want. If I don't get to answer you on your questions, on your posts, please know that I try. It's just a lot of questions and a lot of time, and I want all of you guys to help each other out, okay? I wish I could give you a big hug. Love you guys. Bye.